Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Reawaken Your Inner Healer show with Patricia Elizabeth. And I'm super excited that you're here with me today. And today is the debut show of my TV show. So I'm excited that you are here. So my name is Patricia Elizabeth, your host. And this show is brought to you by the Unlimited Women Network. And you can find out more about us at unlimitedwomennetwork.com. And on today's show, I'm going to introduce myself briefly, as well as I'm going to share with you part of my spiritual reawakening journey. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about the show. What can you expect and what kind of content will I be sharing with all of you? But before I jump right in, I've created a special gift just for you. And I've created a special Reawaken Your Inner Healer meditation. And you can get yours right now for free by visiting isameditation.com, as well as you'll see it in the description below of the show as well. So once again, my name is Patricia Elizabeth, and I help you to reawaken your inner healer so you can make the impact that you're meant. And now more than ever, there's never been a better time, and as well as a lot of us were being guided to reawaken our inner healer. Because here's the thing, we've always we were born with our spiritual gifts. But sadly, for a lot of us, we were either taught or we learned that we needed to suppress our spiritual gifts, because either it wasn't accepted. If we had our spiritual gifts, then we were like crazy, or if we wanted to be loved and accepted unconditionally, we had to suppress our gifts. Or some of us, we've experienced stuff and we just suppress our gifts so deeply. And now a lot of us were being guided more than ever. It's time for us to reawaken our inner healer, because once again, it is ingrained inside of you. You have it already. You were born with it. It is part of who you are. But once again, for a lot of us, we learn to suppress it. So I'm excited. As you can tell, I'm really passionate about this. So what can you expect with the Reawaken Your Inner Healer show? So every Friday, I will be guiding you to, it'll be Meditation Friday, where I will be guiding you to a guided meditation. And I'll be either running an activation, so I'll be activating something inside of you, or maybe we'll be doing some clearing and writing different types of energies. So on Fridays, that's what you can expect from my show. And then Mondays and Wednesdays, I'm going to be coming in, sharing. I'll occasionally be interviewing guest experts. I'll also occasionally feature some of my awesome ISA practitioners, but I'll be sharing a lot of tips and insights and wisdom to help you to reawaken your inner healer so you can make the impact that you're meant. As well as I'll be sharing tips sometimes on how to monetize on your spiritual gifts, because I strongly believe you are more than worthy to be able to monetize on your gift. You deserve to get paid for your spiritual gifts. And I know for a lot of us, we were thought otherwise. So not true. And so on and so forth. So if there's anything that you love for me to be able to cover in an upcoming episode, let me know below. Comment below this video. Let me know, what would you like for me to be able to cover. Maybe you have a question for me that you'd like for me to be able to answer you in regards to reawakening your inner healer, expanding or activating your spiritual gifts, because I'd love to hear for you below as well. And plus, let me know below as well, where are you located right now? So I am a Canadian and I'm currently living in Mexico. I've actually spent about 10 months of 2020 in Mexico. So yes, during the COVID, during the shutdowns, I was in Mexico, which was just simply magical. So that's a little something about me. Professionally, I am the creator of Integrated Soul Activation, ISA Light Codes, and ISA Money Light Code modalities. Since 2007, which I really started my awakening journey, I have studied over 40 different healing modalities. I'm currently enrolled in a PhD program in metaphysical science, specializing in spiritual healing. And several years ago, I was given my own modalities to be able to start. And so far, I've certified over 100 practitioners. So it's something I'm very passionate about. So that's about me in a nutshell. So now I want to share with you a little bit my spiritual journey. Why am I really passionate about helping people to reawaken your inner healer? So growing up as a child, I always knew I was very gifted spiritually. Um, I do have a little bit of Native American blood, and I know there's some people are not going to like that I'm sharing this, but I don't care. It's part of who I am, and I'm proud of it. I learned really early on if I wanted to be loved and accepted unconditionally, I needed to suppress that side out of me. And I'm sure a lot of you can probably relate to that. Um, Either you had an experience and you were told like no, you kind of have to keep that quiet, or no, you got to like close that side out of you, or all of that. So early on I learned if I wanted to be loved and accepted, I needed to like shut down that side out of me. And because of that, I got disconnected quite early on. I felt like I was the outsider looking in, obviously, because I could not show up as me, or I choose not to show up as me because that's a programming that I learned. And I was bullied as a child growing up because I would not stand up for myself because I didn't know how to stand up for myself, right? Because once again, I had to hide a big part of who I am. And it got really bad that I wanted like to commit suicide, which I didn't. Um, then in my late 20s, I was diagnosed with a major clinical depression. So most of my 20s were spent battling anorexia, um, drinking a lot, doing drugs just to really numb myself. And then in my late 20s, I got diagnosed with a major clinical depression after having done several minor. And that was really my first wake up call, because I remember one day being in my living room where I was staying in the basement, sitting on the floor, being like, okay, what's going on here? As a child, I always knew that I wanted to be an entrepreneur. I wanted to have a great impact. Yet I went to corporate because that's what was expected from me, because corporate was safe. Not so much anymore, right? As I'm sure some of you can tell. So, and I remember being okay, I have to make a decision here. I can either do whatever it takes to overcome this depression, or I can just sit here and stay depressed the rest of my life. Because depression, for a big part of it for me, is in my DNA. It is genetic. And then I'm like, okay. And then if I decide to stay here, I have two options. I can either just stay here, or I can just end my life. Because if I'm going to stay like this the rest of my life, I don't think I want to stay. I don't want to stay here. So then I was like, no, I'm meant for more. I knew deep down in my soul that I was meant for more, and I needed to continue the path that I was starting, the journey I was starting. So obviously I chose to do whatever it took to overcome my depression. And you're probably wondering, what does that have to do with it? A lot of times when we start this reawaken journey, it's because we've had to hit rock bottom. And that was one of my rock bottoms. Um, and then I remember, then I was like, okay, if I'm going to overcome this, I need to like evaluate my life. So I did a 360-degree evaluation, came to realize, well, no wonder I'm depressed. I mean, I didn't recognize myself. I had completely lost myself. I was putting everybody else before me. And I'm sure a lot of you can probably relate to that. And if you can relate to me, let me know below that you can like, oh yeah, I let everybody else come before me. Um, and then from there, I decided to move. So I was born in a smaller place on the east coast of Canada in the province of New Brunswick. And then I was like, I've always wanted to move to Montreal. So I moved to Montreal to become a massage therapist. And from there, I discovered Reiki. And then my Reawaken Healer really started to take path. Now, has it been smooth and easy? No. I've had to go through a lot of I've had to hit rock bottom a whole lot. Because I was also stubborn, and I was trying to do it all by myself, which I don't recommend that you do, because it's just going to make everything worse for you. So when I started discovering Reiki, and then I start discovering like started working with angels like IET. I became an IET master instructor. Obviously, I became a Reiki master and discovered Theta healing. And then I was starting to embrace my healing gift. And one day I was on the subway in Montreal and I had an out of body experience. I was meditating and I really went out of my body. I was used to doing that, but I actually left the subway. My physical body was in the subway car, but I actually completely left the subway car, and that really freaked me out. And then I blocked my gifts back again. I was just starting to really to flourish and to reawaken, and then I completely blocked. I'm sure there's some of you can probably relate at some point in your reawaken journey that you probably at some point start to reawaken, expand, step into your gifts. Something happened, freaked you out, and you block them back again. Let me know below if that is you, because I'm sure I'm not the only one. I know for a fact I'm not the only one because I get told all the time. And then from there, I started to grow and evolve. And in 2017, I had a very successful manifesting coaching business, and almost overnight, it collapsed. And really, it didn't happen overnight. I knew since 2015, this was the realm that I was supposed to play in full time. But then I decided I start to come out of the spiritual closet, and then I had family members who, so I hid back again. I'm sure a lot of you can relate to that because we give our families so much power over us. And then so I added it as a compliment to my business. Well, 2017, my guys were like, okay, no, we're fed up. This is where you're going. And you have the everything collapsed almost overnight. And then it was like, okay, either I go back to corporate or I go down the route that they wanted me to take in the whole spiritual realm. Obviously, I chose to go in the spiritual realm. So then I was like, okay, you want me to do this type of work? There's a missing piece. You need to give it to me. And then they gave me my missing piece. And from there, July of 2017, I launched my healing business. I haven't looked back. And it's probably one of the best things I've done, actually. It's been quite a journey. And then end of 2017, I was starting to get my own stuff. And then 2018, I put everything in storage, became a digital nomad, which was a dream of mine to be able to do healing work and just traveling. And to this day, I'm still a digital nomad, because I'm like in love with that life. But then in 2019, all of a sudden, it seems like, and it was because of the energies, I was getting slammed with one challenge after the next. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, can you just not let me do what I'm meant to do? And then in 2020, I moved to Mexico for the first time in February. And then from there, I really stepped fully into my power as a spiritual teacher, as a shaman, as a witch, as like, an intuitive psychic medium. I really stepped fully into my power. And I'm sharing that with you because I know a lot of people, oh yeah, but you're more powerful than me. I'm not more powerful. I just did a lot more. I really worked a lot. I hired mentors. I did a lot of course. I did a lot of private work. Um a lot of I did a lot of certifications, which you don't necessarily need as many as I do, but still. But I'm living proof of what's possible. And isn't it easy to get to to reawaken your inner healer? I'm not gonna lie to you and just say, yeah, it's super easy. It's not, but it's rewarding and it's worth it when you do the work. So make sure that you know that you're doing the work. And if I could give you one piece of wisdom, would be don't do it by yourself. I for the longest time did it by myself, and the journey was very long. That's why from like 2007 to 2017 my journey was very long. And I didn't really advance a whole lot because I was trying to do it all by myself. From 2017 to now, my journey has been going pretty quickly because I've invested with mentors. I'm always learning, I'm growing, I'm not doing it by myself. So once again, if I'm able to do it, so can you. So I am like that's my spiritual journey in a nutshell. I'll be sharing a lot more as I start to talk like on some future episodes. But I just want you to just know that for those of you who are like, I am meant for greater. I am meant for more. It's time for me to come out of the spiritual closet, or it's time for me to start to discover what are my spiritual gifts. Reawaken Your Inner Healer Show is going to be a great first step for you because, once again, I'm going to be sharing tips and wisdoms to help you to be able to reawaken your inner healer. And the first series that I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be talking about the main clairs, because here's the thing. When you know what your main clairs are, so in a nutshell, is like clairvoyance, claircognizance, clairsentience, and all of that. It helps you to be able to like process these energies, but also to be able to awaken and expand on your spiritual gifts. So, once again, for the next several weeks, that's what I'm going to be focusing on sharing. Like, and I'll be talking about on each episode, I'll talk about a specific clair, and I'll also share tips on how you can start to awaken that specific clair, especially if it's like your main one. Just an FYI, my main clair is claircognizance. That's clear knowing. It's knowing stuff. That's one of the hard, it's probably the hardest clair to actually be able to activate and step fully into, because you just know things. You don't have any like proof. There's no anything like that. So said, and then I'll be sharing a lot more stuff. So hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode. And once again, um, I'm so looking forward to be able to help you, to guide you to be able to reawaken your inner healer so you can make the impact that you are meant, because there's never been a better time. And for a lot of you, you're being pushed, you're being guided to be able to do that. That's why 2020 was a huge year to start the process. 2021, if you're not in that process, you definitely want to jump on board, because once again, there's never been a perfect timing. Well, there was in the past, but right now it is your time to start to step fully into your full power, to claim who you really are, who you know you've always been. On a soul level, your soul knows, and your soul is craving it. And once again, and plus the consciousness is starting to rise, and that's why as well as you being pushed with that. So my name is Patricia Elizabeth, your host, and thank you so much for listening to this episode of Reawaken Your Inner Healer. And don't forget to subscribe below to get notification of our next show. And this show is brought to you by ISA Light Code, and you can learn more at thepatriciaelizabeth.com, as well as the Unlimited Women Network, which you can find out more about us at unlimitedwomennetwork.com. This is Patricia Elizabeth. Lots of love. Speak to you soon. Bye for now.